guys, Troikality here from Troikality, and I am here with Monkeying Around himself, and we are back with the third podcast of the Troikality Talk. And before we get into this, let's just talk about what happened with the second one that's not there.
Yeah, okay. So, just so that we're like fully out there, and I just want to explain what happened because I thought I might have made I was thinking maybe I should just make my own video, just kind of addressing what was wrong with it. But I was like, you know what? I'll just explain in the next one. So yes, this is technically the third podcast, but in the second one, just as like a forewarning, my computer's pretty loud, right? So it's not that bad, but it's not perfectly quiet either. So when it came to recording the last week's podcast, I turned my mic down thinking, oh, cool, at least at this level, you won't hear my PC at all, not realizing and not doing the proper audio testing that you just wouldn't hear me, and if you did, it was going to be very difficult to. So I just wanted to address that, and it was a mistake, obviously. I thought, even like in the editing process, I was like, okay, I'll just turn it up, but then it made trigger cap really loud, and it was bad, so we just took the video down. But that won't be happening even in this video. As you can already tell, you can clearly hear me, which was the big problem with last week's episode.
Yeah.
So that will be addressed and shouldn't be a problem. Anytime we've ever had audio problems on this channel, it's always me straying away from what we regularly had, and I'm always like, oh, I should change this, and then it ruins the video. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, but I just wanted to address that. We can get right into it with your topics if you just wanted to.
Okay, yeah. So, I do have a decent amount of stories. All of it's gaming related, so none story, other things, whatnot. So, first story, first things first. Fortnite, of course. We have a new gun coming to Fortnite. As many that have played Fortnite, the big notification saying that the heavy sniper is going to be coming into the game. Yes, that's going to be coming into the game very soon. I don't know when exactly. I assume around the weekly update is when it's going to be popped into the game.
Isn't that the day this comes out and the day we're recording? Because we're actually recording the day of.
That's what I was curious about. I was like, I didn't know if it was Tuesday or when it might be today is when it comes out, actually. I was trying to remember when exactly the weekly update is.
It's always Tuesday.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming out today, actually, shortly after this video gets uploaded. And I actually before it coming into the game, they actually posted the stats for it. Damage wise, this sniper, it is insane. 150 to 160 body damage alone. That's ridiculous for body damage.
Jeez.
But get this, headshot damage, 345 to 355.
So just hope you don't get headshot.
If you get headshot, you're done. It could pretty much even if you're in squads, it could drain your entire health and you're down to health.
What?
There would be no coming back if you got headshotted even in squads. But that is ridiculous for damage and whatnot. So yeah, next time someone's trying to snipe at you, be careful. I don't know what that sniper, I'm sure it has a distinct sound as far as what it is, so it's a heavy sniper. I didn't actually see what the fire rate was on it though, which I'm kind of curious about. It does come as two different variants, either the epic or legendary or the purple or gold, but I'm very curious whether it's a bolt action or semi-auto or what.
I think it'd be too OP if it was semi-auto. That's you could shoot really fast.
Yeah, I feel like it would be.
Especially
I feel like it'd be a lower bolt in a sense, maybe. So, straying from Fortnite, we've got news from Call of Duty Black Ops 4 that, well, not necessarily news. The closed beta for Xbox One was actually this past weekend, as well as PC. I think PlayStation 4 even got a second weekend with it.
I think so too.
I was out of town during the time, so I didn't get to play it. So this is really where I'm going to kick it off to you. How did you, or I guess just tell me about the Black Ops 4 closed beta.
So it was interesting because of the new mechanics, and I stuck, at least for my specialist, I stuck with Ruin just because that's always what I use in Black Ops 3. So it was don't stray from what I already know type of thing.
Yeah.
So the guns felt weird. I don't know. It felt kind of longer to kill people than I was used to, but it's also maybe it's just been a while since playing a Call of Duty. But it felt a little bit.
Yeah.
The grappling hook was interesting because I like
Mm.
ran through like past a hall and I saw that there was a guy in there and he was like charging at me. So then I went back besides the wall and then like I saw like a different like longer part of the hall and I grappled to it. So I was like zooming past him and shooting him and I got the kill. So it was like
Really?
grappling hooks add like something interesting to it. But like I think the biggest thing for me just I've played a lot of Black Ops 3 and that's like the Call of Duty I played the most the past 3 years, which is kind of weird for it being like 3 years old. So it was weird to go from like super like high tech like space jumping and jetpack sort of stuff to being like you're stuck on the ground, even though it's like more futuristic than the past
Yeah.
Call of Duties. So it's just kind of like it was weird transition for me, and I was one of the people who likes either the modern stuff or the futuristic stuff. So it was just it's a weird transition. Like I'm sure when the game comes out, it'll be better, especially because in a beta you are limited to what you're doing. So it's kind of like a weird vibe that I got from it. But the maps were like kind of cool. I don't know. It wasn't too special or anything. It didn't make me like super hyped for the game
Yeah.
personally. Hmm.
I'm very curious about it. I do want to see more on the Blackout. I wonder if they're ever gonna do a beta for it, or if it's just gonna be like, as soon as the game's released, like it's just there. Um, but
I think
I
that's
don't
what
know. Can I
everyone's
say?
excited for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I'm still a little bit jealous. I had to be out of town during the time that the beta was going on, so I didn't get to play any of it. But anyways, so starting off from Call of Duty, I've got news from Rainbow Six Siege. We've got a brand new season coming here pretty soon that they've added some spoilers, some sneak peeks, different trailers like that. And as far as what's been released so far that we know of, it's going to be called Operation Grim Sky. The new map that's going to be included with it is called Hereford Base, which has like an old-timey effect. It's it looks like a World War II era map, which is interesting, but I don't know. From what I've seen so far, they're slowly like releasing more and more about the new season, but we have gotten to see what Defender is going to be added to the game. I don't think they've published or at least talked about what Attacker is going to be brought to the game. But we've got Clash as the Defender, which I saw a trailer for it. It's very different because I've never seen a Defender with a shield, or at least it might have just been a while since I've played Rainbow Six. I don't think we've ever had a Defender with an actual like ballistic shield. This one has like a clear ballistic shield that's got like electricity. I don't know if you've seen like I don't know if you've played it. Star Wars Force Unleashed from like Xbox 360. Yeah. So it's like the trailer of seeing Clash is like her with her ballistic shield, and then if you can remember like from the cover photo of Force Unleashed where this dude's like shooting out lightning everywhere and he just looks like a beast. It's like that, but with this girl with a ballistic shield. It's like super, and it looks pretty OP. But I'm very curious about it. We will find out a lot more about the update coming August 19th during the what they call a Six Major, which is I don't know, some Rainbow Six Siege event. But more will be revealed on that update on that date there. Moving on from that, I guess not all of my stories are specifically gaming, but I have I did see this and I really wanted to make a story out of it. GameStop. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it. I'm very excited because so from now to I want to say like 2 weeks from now, GameStop is doing a trade-in deal right now for anyone that trades in anything from their PS4 to their Nintendo Switch to their Xbox One. Anyone that trades in those consoles automatically gets trade-in credit towards buying a brand new Xbox One X, which there's different levels for it. if you trade in your PlayStation 4 Pro, you get $300 trading credit. Anything from your Nintendo Switch, your PS4 Slim, your original PS4, or your Xbox One S, you'll get an automatic $250 in-store credit. And if you just trade in your original Xbox One, you'll get $200 in-store credit, which is really, really nice, actually. I've got the Xbox One S, and I've been really wanting an X for its features. The reason why I did get the S, though, was that it fit better with my gaming setup. But I do like graphics over looks, in a sense. So definitely get in on that. For any of those that have been looking at getting an Xbox One X, if you trade in, or if you have your original Xbox or your Xbox One S, or even any other console, trade that in and you'll get automatic credit towards getting a brand new Xbox One X. And for my final topic, new content for Grand Theft Auto 5 online. So with the release of the After Hours DLC, we got to see nightclubs, a lot of small but pretty cool content that was added to the game, which was pretty nice. They have actually added on to that since the drop of that update. We've got, which kind of surprised me, we've got 3 new DJs, which I thought were going to be dropped at the actual drop date of After Hours. But the only one that we got at first was Solomon. Over time, they have been releasing new DJs, and I think they've released all 4 of them. I don't know if there's going to be more coming to the game, but yeah, we've got Tale of Us, Dixon, and the Black Madonna that you can, I did take a look at it. If you spend like $100,000, you can have them booked to your nightclub and perform. Looking at their different styles of music, to be honest, I kind of like a Black Madonna myself.
That's funny.
But anyways, there's the new DJs that were added to the game. We actually got a brand new radio station, which is new. I haven't had one since forever, actually. But we've got LSUR, or Los Santos Underground Radio, which is just nothing but like EDM, or the club music that you that plays in your nightclub. It's pretty much that music, but on the radio station, which is really nice. And we've also got some new vehicles that have come to the game. The Pegassi Oppressor Mark II, which is, I don't know if you remember the bikes that could like fly, the motorcycles that could fly.
Yeah.
So they've got, it's that, only this thing doesn't have wheels at all. It floats.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of like a rocket-powered bike that you can just like hover on the ground, or even just shoot off into the sky. It's really sweet, and
like
I really
DeLorean.
Yeah, in a sense. Pretty nice. And then we've got the Benefactor Terabyte. You remember the mobile operations center that you could purchase a while back, during forget what the whenever you could purchase a bunker.
The gun running.
Yeah, the gun running thing. I was trying to think of what it was called. Yeah, so the Benefactor Terabyte is kind of like the mobile operations center, but for your facility. Like if you buy like a doomsday facility or whatnot. It's weird that it's, I don't know, it's like an updated mobile operations center. And the Benefactor Terabyte comes with all the features that came with the mobile operations center. Only, I think like the one difference is, well, I mean, obviously it's for your facility, but I think like the biggest difference is that you can only modify, if you got a Pegassi Oppressor Mark II, the Benefactor Terabyte would be the only vehicle that you could use to modify it. You can't modify it in your mobile operations center, which stinks. And then we got the B-11 Strike Force, which is a brand new plane, kind of cool looking. I didn't really read too much into it, but still to come, we've got the class Scramjet, which looks like a Hot Wheel car. It's just a jet-powered car. I think we've already got something like that. I forget which car it was. but it's like, yeah, it's essentially just a rocket powered car. But anyways, that is it for my stories. If you wanted to move on to yours.
I will. So, but as most of the stories that I ever bring to the table, I always seem to not bring a lot of gaming in. So I do got one that I'm just gonna quickly mention in the beginning, just to get that one out of the way. So there was a thing about possible Fortnite leaks, just keeping it on Fortnite, where they might be introducing new like customization options. So like new dances and like calling cards and stuff. But something that is like weird is that they mentioned victory poses. So I don't know if that's just like that's what they call things that aren't dance moves but are still emotes. I don't know if that's what that means. But that, and then they also said new map markers and possibly like changing the customization of the battle bus and even like hats. So that's interesting. But obviously it is a leak and it might not happen. But from what I understand, there's been a good like a lot of people are like rooting for it and like the idea of it. So Epic might be like, oh, okay, people like the idea, even if we didn't want them to know about it right now, or we didn't want to do it. They like it enough that we could introduce it into the game. So that's something interesting. But that was my only gaming one that I've got. So just wanted to
look into that.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I want to talk about is there's been an update to the James Gunn story, and I know we talked about the James Gunn story and the whole Dave Bautista thing in the last podcast, so I'm just going to go over it quickly. James Gunn had some tweets back in 2008 or 2009 that he thought were funny, and personally, they were just bad jokes. Like, I get he wasn't, like, serious about anything he said, but they were just really bad jokes. Yeah. So, because of these tweets resurfacing, and they weren't deleted, or just them resurfacing, and the content that was in them, Disney was very quick to fire them, just because that's how Disney is. It's like, if you're going to hurt our brand in any way, you're gone. And then Dave Bautista was saying that he first wants James Gunn back, and if not even that, they need to at least use his script, or else he feels disingenuous, and if they don't use his script, he's out, like he's done. They need to recast Drax, and he wants out of his contract. So that's just a little summary of what we talked about last time. But the update to this is that it seems to be confirmed that Disney is for sure going to use James Gunn's script for Volume 3, but apparently the producer though of Marvel, like the guy who's been like mainly in charge of the whole MCU, Kevin Feige, has been really pushing to get James Gunn hired back on from Disney, and like he's been trying to really get them to get it. And I don't know if this is true, but this is a little side note of it. Apparently Kevin Feige found out James got fired through the news. He wasn't told in any way, and he's like in charge of the MCU. And so to find out that way is kind of crazy. Like Disney's just, nope, you're gone. And he didn't even know about it. Apparently it was like that quick. So that was...
You kind of expect Disney to go to James or Kevin.
You would think that he would at least know.
Yeah.
Like I get they're just trying to act and be like, no, we don't even like this. We don't mess with this anyway. This is no. But that is kind of crazy. You'd think he would know. And I don't even know if that's true, but I saw that somewhere and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Another thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of things that, like with movies, TV, where very early on in the process, there's a lot of controversy to them. So some of the notable things is, I think her name is Ruby Rose. She was on Orange is the New Black, and she was in John Wick 2. She's been cast as Batgirl on the CW shows and that whole universe, and there's been a lot of backlash to her casting, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any problem with it. For me, I feel like she's kind of bigger than the TV show, but that's just me. If anything, I think it's below her pay grade. That's my only thing about it. But so there's that, and then Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash, there's like a leaked picture of his new suit, and he like apparently a lot of people are like body shaming him and like all this sort of stuff, saying he's like super skinny, and they're hating on the new suit. Even like Zachary Levi, who's playing Shazam, his suit was leaked, and people are like, wow, it's so cartoony. But then the trailer comes out, and everyone is like, oh, we love it. This seems like a great movie. So I just kind of want to talk about that and say like how I think anything early on almost shouldn't be judged to its like fullest extent. Like say like Black Ops 4 I mentioned. I think it's weird, but I also in my head I'm like, I need to know what it's like when the full game comes out, because I know I'm not getting everything that's in there, like in the actual game. And even I think maybe I can't confirm this or not, but I'm pretty sure Heath Ledger as the Joker might have gotten some backlash, like at first, and now he's everyone's favorite Joker. Yeah. So it's kind of like if you're judging things early on, you just shouldn't, essentially, like wait for things to
Yeah.
come out. And that was just there's been multiple things in the past week about it, so I just want to mention that. But kind
Yeah.
of moving on into a different kind of realm of things. So there's been a lot of streaming services that have people have been making, like Disney's got one in the works, and it's going to include
Hmm.
something to do with Monsters Inc., a Monsters Inc. project, maybe a High School Musical TV show, which is not needed. But Jon Favreau,
Yeah.
who, if you know directors or are a fan of Marvel movies, he directed Iron Man 1 and 2, and I can't confirm 3. I'm like he was the guy who helped essentially start the MCU. He plays Happy, Iron Man's bodyguard, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's directed great movies, the Jungle Book movie, which we talked about in the first podcast about a little bit. We briefly talked on. So he's got a
Hmm.
Star Wars TV show series that's coming out, and its budget is going to cost around $100 million for the TV show, and it's exclusively going on the Disney service. And for anyone who cares, it takes place 7 years after Episode 6 or Return of the Jedi. So that's at least where it takes place. But that's I don't know how I feel about all these new streaming services, because it's I've got Netflix, and then I think through Sprint I get Hulu for free. So even I don't even like using Hulu personally. I know my dad. Well, we're not going to be paying for Amazon Prime anymore, but we are paying for now, and we get Amazon movies too that are always free. And it's just this is so many streaming services that you have to pay for. It's almost hey, do you want cable or do you want any streaming service? And with the amount of streaming services that there are, you're almost paying more than you would if you were just paying for channels. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, and it kind of sucks. And I think that's also where the Clone Wars newest season is gonna be, or something like that. That's where they're airing it first. And I know they've got another animated Star Wars Resistance show that's in the works as well. And it's just kind of everything is going to a new streaming service. It's are you serious? This is another thing that we've got to pay for every month. It's not they're gonna be oh, here you pay $20 a month, or if you're paying for a year, you get it discounted. Well, I mean, they
Yeah.
might, but it's just there's so many streaming services that's kind of insane.
Hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I just don't think I like the idea of any of it, of any of the streaming
Yeah.
services.
I kind of stopped using my Roku, so I don't. Other than Netflix itself, I don't really use any streaming services.
Well, even I've got we got a bunch of Apple TVs in my house, but my dad just buys them on iTunes or the Movies Anywhere thing, which connect so we could even buy a Blu-ray and get the code and put it onto our Apple TV, and now we've got that movie and I can access it anywhere. I can have it on my iPad, my computer, my Apple TV, my phone, all this sort of stuff, which is something that we like, and we're not paying additional anything for the month. It's just we're buying the movies.
Yeah.
And apparently there's this thing that if you have DVDs, you can I don't know, do something you digitally scan them, or I don't know. And for $2, you could put all of your DVDs into your collection as well, $2 per movie.
Really?
And I've got a 400 DVD player. Granted, that's $800 for movies we've already purchased, but if it's $2, we could choose which ones we really want digital, and
Yeah.
work that way.
I always thought about that. What if they did that except for console or things like that, or if you
Mhm.
got I would love to have Grand Theft Auto digital. I don't know why I bought it just a hard copy, other than the fact that it came with a map. And that's about
funny.
it. But
I'm really liking where things are going, because now they release digitally movies on Apple TV and iTunes and stuff a week before they do it physical, and DVDs and hopefully movie theaters are getting phased out of life, so everything's just, oh look, here's the movie. That'd be so great, dude. Oh my gosh.
dude, that'd be funny.
Dude, movie theater experiences are not good. I feel there's it sucks to have to go to a more expensive movie theater to have a good time at a movie.
Yeah, I don't. Well, as it sucks is I don't like going to the Regal so much. Keep in mind, this is side note conversation. Depending on where you live, this
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where we live, there's two different movie company things.
Yeah, companies.
And one of them's terrible but close and cheaper, and one of them's really good but more expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
conflicting thing.
Yeah, it's like pay more money or enjoy your time, or don't enjoy your time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hate Regal. Anyways.
Yeah.
Um.
But that's it for my stories. That's that's really all I brought this week. There wasn't a lot, at least in terms of things I felt comfortable talking about or really had something to say about. So that's all I brought.
Yeah, this week definitely felt different. But anyways, that's it for podcast number 3, or somewhat 2, depending on
2.5.
2.5. 2.5 maybe.
Or would it be 1.5 because 2 never made
it? Yeah, so that's
yeah.
it. Anyways, if you guys liked what we talked about, comment down below which stories you liked, what you want to talk about further. If there's any stories that we missed or anything that you'd like to talk about, bring that up in the comments down below as well. We could even talk about it in the next podcast. Like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because we post content on the almost daily. So anyways, that's it for today's podcast. Catch us next Tuesday where we will release the next one. My name is Troikality.
I'm monkeying around.
And we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.